Applying for financial aid for the first time can seem like an overwhelming process, but we've tried to make it as easy as possible by requiring only one form, and that form is the free application for federal student aid, called the FAFSA for short. And you can find the FAFSA on the web at www.fasfa.gov. When the FAFSA is completed, it goes to the federal government, and then two things happen after that. The government sends a copy back to you, and then one to us. If you applied online, then you'll receive your copy online as well. And this is your opportunity to review the FAFSA, make sure that everything you put on it is accurate, and receive some initial feedback from the government about your application. If there's something on the FAFSA that we need to look at in more detail, then instead of the financial aid award notice, we'll send the student a verification request to collect documentation that will allow us to kind of clean up the FAFSA, so to speak. Now, one of the main reasons you do complete the FAFSA is to get an expected family contribution, or an EFC number. And that number is the direct result of the information you put on the application. In short, it's the amount of money the federal government believes the student and his or her family can pay towards educational expenses for the award year. Now, we take that EFC number and we subtract it from the cost of attendance, which is what we estimate it will cost a student to attend JMU for the school year. The difference is the student's financial need, and that's when we start making financial aid awards. Now, we always look at giving students grant dollars first. Then we go to the subsidized direct loan, Perkins loan, and finally, federal work study. These are all the need-based financial aid programs. If the student doesn't have any need, or we've given all the need-based aid we can, and there's still a gap in having enough aid to cover the anticipated costs, then we'll look at awarding the student an unsubsidized direct loan or the federal Parent Plus direct loan to the student's parents. Students will be notified of their eligibility through the electronic award notice process. Now, the email they receive in this process will direct them to their My Madison account, which is where they'll reply to the notice. One of the main questions we receive is, what is the difference between a subsidized and an unsubsidized direct loan? Well, for a subsidized direct loan, it simply means that no interest is being charged to the student while he or she is in a qualified period of deferment. Now, in most cases, this means the student will not be responsible for paying the interest as well as the principal of the loan until after graduation. For an unsubsidized direct loan, the interest is accruing in the name of the student while he or she is in school. The student has two choices to make. The first is to make interest-only payments while in school, while the second is to have the interest added into the loan during school. And the latter option will obviously be more expensive, as it means the students will end up paying interest on top of interest once repayment begins. Now, we always start by giving the student as much subsidized direct loan money as possible before we ever go into the unsubsidized loan. Now, student employment is becoming a more and more prevalent means to help pay for college, and we have three main employment options for students. The first is federal work study, which is a need-based financial aid program. Next is institutional employment, which has nothing to do with financial aid. The FAFSA doesn't even have to be completed. It's just like a part-time job anywhere else, but it just so happens that it's generally on campus. There are anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 students working on campus during any given year. The third option is off-campus employment. If you go to the financial aid webpage, you can find out more about each of these employment programs. Now, there's a big difference at JMU in how scholarships are awarded to first-year students and returning students. For first-year students, the majority of the scholarships are awarded through the admissions process and the academic departments on campus. And you can find out more about scholarships at JMU by going to the scholarship section of our website. Just click on the scholarship link and it will tell you what you need to do to apply. The best place to go for more information regarding financial aid and/or financial literacy issues such as budgeting, debt management, or other topics is our website.